This is probably my biggest regretful purchase and I completely forgot about it. I did a video not long ago where I was discussing the top 5 regretful purchases, but I completely forgot to include this. I would probably venture to say that this is closer to number 1 than anything. And the reason why I say that is just because I haven't used it. This is going to be a very quickly rushed video just because I'm literally about to sell this. I have a buyer coming down for Facebook Marketplace. So with the fact that I'm actually about to sell this and also saying that it's a bit of a waste of money, I feel like a bit disingenuous, but the reality is he's buying it very cheap. I purchased it about 4 years ago, brand new. So therefore I've actually lost a lot of money over the years for the amount that I've used it. The depreciation value is not really the problem. It's just a simple fact that the past couple of years I've barely touched it. The person coming down is essentially buying a brand new drone. It's probably only been flown like 10 times, maybe across like 4 to 5 different occasions. Like it's been flown so little to the point where the fly more combo is completely redundant because I never needed so many batteries anyway. But now that part's out of the way, just let's get to the main part of the video and actually discuss why I think just drones in general are a waste of money. I'm sure most of you out there have seen drone reviews and drone footage and you just think it's just so incredible and you really want to be able to capture that. But the reality living with a drone, that's not really practical. This will be highly dependent on where you live, to be fair. I live in South London, so I'm actually in a very sort of congested zone, which is not very scenic to look at. There's also a lot of flight restrictions in London. You're typically not allowed to fly in central London, which is where I would want to fly it if I was able to. And to find anywhere very scenic, you'd have to actually travel very far out. Which leads me into the reason as why I purchased this to begin with, and that was one year we was actually going to Scotland for a family trip. The family actually live up by Inverness beyond that, in the Highlands. So I figured if at any point I was going to buy a drone, it would be for that trip. I did manage to get some lovely footage flying through the mountains, and I wanted to get some footage of me walking the dogs on the beach and the drone following me. But the reality is what ended up happening is my dogs are quite reactive and they did not like the sound of the drone buzzing. There is no auto track feature on this and it was only 1080p footage, so I was having to manually sort of control it as I'm trying to be in the moment, and it just kind of just ruined the whole thing for me. I had a friend of mine in the past couple of years, they was actually saying that they wanted to buy a drone, and I told them, look, don't spend any money on buying a drone, borrow mine, fly it, see how you feel. If you like it, then you can buy it. You can buy this one or you can buy another one. He ended up taking it on the trip. He flew it around. He realized the same thing. After a couple of takeoffs and you kind of just like fly it around for a few minutes, you just realize there's not much for you to do. And it's like the idea of having a drone is way better than the reality of it. So thankfully for him, he managed to just borrow my drone, get that out of his system and then just give it back, no problem. I unfortunately purchased a drone brand new, lost money through depreciation, and now I'm about to sell it used. I still have things in my mind when it comes to ideas that I want to shoot with a drone. Like I would really want to get that footage of me walking the dogs in the scenic view, high line, that type of stuff. It's going to be great if I can get it done. But this specific one won't be good enough for the job. I didn't find that the field of view is wide angle enough to get that dramatic sort of view of seeing the whole scene. Also, there's no auto tracking feature and it's only 1080p footage. So if I was to do another Scotland trip again, I definitely won't be buying a drone for that trip, but I may consider renting one. I'm just going to do a quick unboxing just to show you what the contents are the Fly More Combo DJI Mavic Mini. So you do get a protective case, which is quite nice and handy, which actually is big enough to contain everything that you need. So here, first off, here we have the DJI Mavic. As you can see, it's even got the stickers still on there. If I was just to open it up so you can see what it looks like as a drone. There you even got the marking for 249 grams to showcase that it is under the weight requirement. So therefore you can fly this in most places. The Fly More combo pack comes with 3 batteries with a charger. There is no battery in here, so it's just 3 batteries that you get with it. And then here's the controller. Again, still got all the stickers on there. And then you got the extra thumbsticks over here, which I always found a bit of an annoying thing that you had to actually screw this in every single time. But I guess that prevents it from poking out too much either. And then the antennas would stick out. I actually don't know what this is. Never really opened it. As you can see, it's still sealed. Got some extra propellers, and these are just extra thumbsticks. And then you got the different cables depending on the phone that you're using. So this side here will then connect into the DJI control, just over there. And then the other side, it just depends on what phone you have. You got micro USB, USB-C, and lightning. So let's just pack this back up. And there's the camera. So this is not necessarily a review of the DJI Mavic Mini. I haven't used it enough to review it, to be honest. This is just more a discussion about drones in general and whether you need one. And for the most part, I really don't think you do. If you are going to venture into buying a drone, maybe do what this guy's doing and then just buy one used, because he is getting it pretty cheap. He's getting a fraction of the cost that I paid for it, but I just realized, you know what, it's just taking up space amongst my equipment. It's collecting dust. It's going to just continually to lose value. I'm not going to use it again. I definitely feel for the majority of people out there, you will be seduced by the footage that you see on all the advertisements, but the reality is it won't fit your lifestyle. Depending on where you live and what you shoot, I just can't see many opportunities for most people to go out and actually enjoy it. There's also the anxiety about flying one, because when you're flying a drone and you realize that if it does go too far, the wind takes it away, you lose signal, there's very little you can do. I just remember the few times I was flying it, I was just incredibly anxious. I wasn't enjoying the experience. I was trying to tell myself multiple times that in my mind that if something were to happen, it's a relatively cheap drone, so it doesn't really matter. But nonetheless, it's still money. It's still the drone. I would still want the footage to come back to me. So ultimately, I just kind of determined that this owning a drone doesn't suit my lifestyle. I still very much have the desire to fly a high quality drone in certain scenarios. But in those instances, I think I'd rather rent one than buy one. The issue I had with this drone specifically is the field of view. I didn't find it wide enough. So when I was flying it, I felt like I needed to fly higher just to capture more of the scene and us within the scene. But then the trouble is that the range was also coming to its limit. The other problem is it's only a 1080p footage. Granted, that was kind of like the standard back then when I first bought it. But since then, drone technology has moved on. And I think the new Mavic Mini, the current generation one, has 4K camera on it. It also has auto tracking, which my DJI Mavic Mini does not. So I'm curious to know, did you buy a drone and if you're actually still using it to this day, or did the hype die for you quite quickly also? Let me know down below if you're also still thinking about buying a drone and which drone that you would actually be interested in for and why. But otherwise, that's it from me. Cheers for watching.